so we've picked a really windy and cold day to do this, but here we are outside the illustrious Arena Combat Archery Centre in Brierley Hill for the very first I think like big game out, Black Country Games Fair, which is being held inside. The machine at the top, Eddie. Yeah. So I'm just trying to tell Eddie where to park because he's turned up a little bit late and he's now missed all the free parking. Yeah, so this is where the Black Country Gaming event is taking place. You can see. I'll have a quick walk forward and I'll just do a quick whiz around and I'll shut up talking and just show you what's going on. As you can see, it's quite small, but there's around about 20 traders here today, all sorts of different things. So hopefully there's Dana who's organised it all, and hopefully we'll all have a reasonably good day. First time this event has been run, so all being well, we should all have a reasonably good day. So if you do, I've been here, I've turned up, hope you enjoy the event, and hopefully you'll come along and support the Retro Repair Bear. Oh, and Dylan's here as well. There we go. Yeah, we've, in case people can't find it, we've now got this running outside. It's a bit of a breeze blowing from right to left as you look at it, which is why it's going all over the place. People are arriving as well, which is good. About 40 minutes to go at the moment before we start. Jimmy Retro there. Good to see Jimmy into the event. So we've got Dylan and Eddie next to us. There's Antarper over there by the entrance. Dana's on the corner. There's quite a few people setting their stalls out today, which is good. All sorts of stuff. You've got your pops there. There's wrestling event team over there as well. Yeah, it's real mix of stuff. Here, trading cards, if that's your thing here. Games, of course. I'll try and get a bit more footage later on when we get some people in. We've got about half an hour to go now, so last minute preparation, so we're ready to go. Busy. A few recognisable faces looking about.
Without a manual for 35, I was like, it's one of them games that's like, it's all over. It's crazy. NFL football. You think it's just a football game.
So that was some footage from the Black Country Gaming Fair, which took place last Sunday. Can't remember what the date is now. Anyway, hello everybody, this is the Retro Bear, back in the gaming pantry with a new video. I know. Stunning announcement. New video from the Retro Bear. This is rather weird, isn't it? And it's not a stream. Anyway, hope you're well. It has been a while, but All will become apparent as we go through this video, explaining what's happened and where I've been. Yes, so Backcountry Gaming Fair, which was the 26th of February, up at the Arena Archery Centre thing at Briley Hill. First time this event was run, put together by the Brains Trust that is Ant Harper and Dainster. And it's good to mention Ant, because a lot of people who've done videos about this didn't mention poor old Ant. He's part of the organisation. So, I mean, honestly, massive congratulations to those guys who put on an event which I think surpassed everybody's expectations. It really was really well done. It was a right size venue, right number of traders in there. Every trader did really well. Mrs. Bear had a fantastic day, giving out loads of the Retro Repair Bear leaflets and showing off some of the things that she'd done. We even sold a couple of things as well. Can you believe that? We didn't plan on selling anything. And it was great to meet loads of different people. First of all, I'd like to say a massive thank you to all those people who aren't on YouTube, but do comment or do watch the videos, who came up and said hello and introduced themselves and appreciated the videos that I do, which is always lovely to happen. It's nice when people do that, especially when you don't know who they are. You know, we know so many people. We'll go through a huge list of people in a minute who were there. But it's always nice when people who aren't on YouTube will just comment under, their own name or an assumed name and actually make themselves known to you. It's really nice. And yes, it was great chatting to those people. Lots of people making inquiries about, can you do this, can you do that with the computers and the consoles and the boom boxes. It was fantastic. So massive thank you to everybody who came across and spoke to Claire and took a leaflet. And please get in touch. If you were there and pick something up or need something doing, please get in touch with her. She'd love to help you out with that. So that's fantastic. And it was great. The early bird people came in bang on time at 10 o'clock. We put them into the holding pen, as it became customary known, which is basically a side room out of the cold, because it was a particularly cold day. It wasn't very warm in there. And they were sort of left there and sort of hosed down if they tried to get out of there, and electric fences just to keep them penned up until 10 o'clock. Then they came in, and then just before 11 o'clock, around about 11 o'clock when the free entry started, it just went from being busy to like, whoa, where do all these people come from? And it must have been local word of mouth, particularly, which again was great. It really was. But people came from all over. Even Warsaw, people came from Warsaw. In fact, it reminds me, I just forgot to write somebody's name down there. Sorry, James. There's so many people I bumped into that day, but they came from all over. We had people coming from Bristol, from Southampton, from the London area, from Essex down there, from the north. It was, and from Wales as well. It was just a fantastic day. I think everybody who traded did really well. I think everybody who turned up took home something that was a memento of the day. And more importantly, I think, as he's pointed out in a couple of videos that have been done, another name just sprung to mind. Sorry. And I think that's also, it was the quality of the stuff that was there. So many people have put out videos and said the quality was a really high standard. It was some people selling their own collections, some of the regular traders, some people who do the shows on a regular basis. And it was just, there was no rubbish there. I wouldn't know that because I didn't really get a chance to look around properly. That was the worst thing about it, because I was there really to help Claire and promote the Retro Repair Bear and the Bluetooth boombox thing that she's doing, and obviously to meet people I've met before and some for the very first time. So I didn't really get a chance to look round and want to buy anything. Probably was a good idea because I probably wouldn't have afford anything anyway. And I did have a quick couple of circles around, but my heart really wasn't in it. And every time I tried to do something like that, I bumped into somebody I knew or somebody who knew me, and that was it. It was like, okay, and then there's 15 minutes there, and that's it. The time's gone. So maybe next time I'll get a chance to look around properly. Right, I mean, it was literally a cast. I mean, there was about 25 names down here. So we mentioned obviously Dainster and Ant Harper out of Hidden Chess Gaming, who organised it, brilliant stuff. right next to us where we were trading, we had Eddie and Dylan, Roller Core and Hyper Trigger X stalling out again. I think they had a pretty good day as well. I know Eddie had one of his tabletop arcade which he sold. I thought he was being optimistic at that. I'll be honest with you, Ed. I thought you'd been rather optimistic bringing that along, but you did sell it. And that was brilliant. I know you had a really good day. Good to see Jimmy Retro there again. I saw Jimmy up at Birmingham Game Market before Christmas. And it was good to see Jimmy again. I know he had a few issues with us, as Claire did with the card terminal. Some people didn't, some people did. So that was one of those things. But hopefully Jim will come along again for the next one. Because there will be another one this year sometime, I'm not sure when. So those were the ones that were trading. Obviously, Old School Gaming out of Bradley Hill, and Joypad Joy and Games out of Netherton as well. They were their local shops. Richard was there from Old School. He had a good day as well. I think he said he sold some really rare stuff, some really expensive stuff, which again is probably not a bad thing at all. But obviously, I think he was planning to move a few of the slightly smaller price ticket items, shall we say. But there was all sorts there. We saw in the video there was some people selling pops and cards, and there was a Paul from Black Country T-shirts. Custom printing. Some was having T-shirts for Retro Kit's funeral, being printed by Paul. There was a local wrestling group there promoting their show. There was things like a reenactment group as well there, plus people selling different items. It wasn't all just games, it was a real mix of stuff. So something for everybody. Honestly, it really was. Let's get on to the people from YouTube first of all, who were there. I mentioned him now. James Retro Import Game was there. Saw James before I went in. Always good to bump into James. Didn't get a chance to spend too much time with him. We had a good conversation about the Dukes of Hazzard. Go and check James's video out about that, because that was quite funny. Incidentally, if I can remember it, I'll try and stick a link to everybody I mentioned in this video below, but I can't guarantee it because it's a really small pad. My writing is terrible, and so is my memory. So then where do we go? Daily Retro. Good to see Dale and Natasha and I say baby Caden. He's over a year old now. Little Caden, I suppose. Dale had to pick something up for Mrs. Bear that she'd done for him. So getting not a real chance to sit down and spend more time. I spend more time talking to your wife, Dale. I don't know what it is. So Hidden Chef, I think I spent more time talking to her, and certainly on that day I do. But it's nice. Always nice to see the pair of you, and I know probably see you again in a couple of weeks' time as well. So that's good there. And the people, people from all over. So we had the brilliant Retro Ed. I had a Retro Ed on Desert Island Games many months ago, maybe even years ago now, I can't remember. One of the nicest guys on YouTube. He brought some stuff for Claire, just to simply say, here's some spares for you, which he didn't want anything for them. You find more use for them. I bought these and never really got round to use them. Just brought those. It was great to see Ed there, and with him was Scott from Marathon Gaming, whose channel I'm familiar with, but I've never met Scott before. Great pleasure to meet him. Again, he's put a great video out as well. I know we had a fantastically good day, really enjoyed it. So good to meet you for the first time, Scott. Hope we will bump into each other again. Then from the Bristol area we had Big Mike, without further ado, Retro. I've watched Mike's videos for quite a few times, seen him on various streams over the years, especially on the bootleggers. It's a tremendous knowledge of films that Mike has. Big games collector and big gamer, of course. He even bought, because I saw him on the car park, I knew he was coming, and he said, he introduced himself, it was nice to meet him and all that, and he said, has Mrs. Bear bought her stuff with her? I said, what do you mean stuff? And he went, like repair kit. I said, I don't know. I said, why? What have you bought? He said, I bought me +3, Spectrum +3 for her to repair that. So she's had that off him to do repair here. I think, but yeah, it was great to meet Mike briefly. I know he had a long conversation with Claire afterwards, and of course Dave from 37 Retro. Lovely to see Dave again. Didn't get a chance to chat to as much as I did at Crash back in November, but really nice guy. Great to see the pair of them. Really was nice to meet Mike for the first time. I hope we'll get to see you again, Mike. We had Craig from Goodwin's Place all the way from Wales. I think possibly that might be the longest journey that we know of. Yeah, I went to Craig last time. I can't remember. I think it was a Danish shop opening, wasn't it? Hidden Chest shop opening last January, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, good to see him again. I had a good chat with Mrs. Bear. Gave her some of his stickers. I think she gave me some leaflets. It's fair trade in this sort of business, but yeah, always good to see Craig. Steve, Cooper's World, and again, not met Steve before. Had him on Desert Island Games. He was on our TMB episode 74 talking about the N64. Loved to meet Steve in person, really nice guy. You know, and again, he come from Southampton. You know, people come up from all over to support the event, you know, it's just fantastic the lengths some people go to come out for things like this. So that was really good to see him. Great to meet Steve for the first time. Again, spent some time with people variously, but I just couldn't spend a lot of time with everybody, unfortunately. Paul Dink Northern, who's a regular down here, it was good to see Paul turn out as always. Then there was Liam, Retro Ramo, I met briefly a couple of years ago when he came down to Vintage Game, and had a bit of a long chat with Liam. Liam reached out a few weeks ago. We were just talking private about stuff, which I do appreciate, mate, and always good to talk to you, and we'll get you on TMB. I know we were going to do you end of last year, I think it was, but we'll get you on again soon. Always nice to see him. And then, of course, my old comrade in arms, Retro Games Revive, Sean, who turned up with probably, you know, undoubtedly with the greatest amount of respect to everybody else there that day. By far the best moment was to finally meet Pete Fighter 2. I'd never met Pete in person before. We've done TMB podcasts, we've had conversations off YouTube, conversations on YouTube, conversation on private streams. I've been following Pete on YouTube for, you know, since pretty much he started. He's followed me back, same thing, and probably known him for about 4 years now. It's the first time we actually met in person, and what a lovely guy he is. And I'm so pleased that Pete's actually now got himself back on the tubes as well. So if you're not aware that Pete Fighter 2 took his channel down about 12-15 months ago, he's come back, he's started putting some new videos up. So please go across and show Pete some support, because he's got a real interest in doing this now, and he's got a real you know, bug for it, and you know, let's encourage that enthusiasm. Let's go across and show him some support. It's really good to see him back and enjoying it as well. So great to see Pete in person. Again, I wish I could have spent far much more time with everybody. Somebody I met for the very first time, and ironically, a relatively new channel to YouTube. So I'm going back to my old shout-out days, and I'd only seen his video the night before, and it's a guy called Retro Roy, and I know the reason I sort of clicked on his video because he said he'd been to Old School Gaming in Briley Hill, and of course I thought, well, I'll keep an eye out for him, and lo and behold, he did turn up. It's got a fantastic collection of stuff, Nintendo cardboard heavy, I will say. So it was great to meet him in person, and I'll stick a link to his channel below. Go across and have a look at some of it. He's only got a few videos up at the moment. We did do a video about the game, Mark. He took some footage as well, so it was great to see him. And then one of the sort of real poignant things about this was when Dana did the early bird tickets, he'd done some wristbands, and when I've done with it, I can't remember. Anyway, the wristbands that were done in green, and in memory of our you know, dearly departed friend John, Retro Kit, and it is a tribute to him for the day. So John's partner Nikki was there, John's friend Phil, who I met a few weeks back, and also Mike from Malahi Club was there as well. And also I want to say thank you to John's cousin Jason for coming over. I think it was John's cousin, I hope I got that right anyway, who came over, and you could see he was very emotionally you know, very emotional on the day. He just came over and just said thank you for all the videos that we did for John and the tributes and things. So it was good to catch up with them, and obviously I will see them all again at the funeral a week on Tuesday, which I think it goes out tomorrow, which I'm recording this Monday night, it's going on Tuesday, so a week, 14th of March when we got the funeral, and there's a few of us going to that as well, so that'll be a very emotionally charged day. But it was nice to speak to Nikki, see the kids. A couple of the kids were there, and catch up with Mike. Didn't catch up with Phil as much as I'd like to know, but Phil, I hope we can have a conversation again at some point in the future. But yeah, so yeah, loads of people. It was a brilliant day out. So yes, if you didn't make it, don't worry, there'll be another one later on in the year. I'm pretty sure, I know Dana's been thinking about dates later on in the year, so I'm sure as we get close to it, we'll mention it. And again, a massive thank you to everybody who mentioned the event upcoming in videos. I know me and Al did 25 minutes on Al's birthday stream at the end just talking about it, and hopefully people watched it and picked up from the people's videos, whether you were local or not, and turned up. Thank you for turning out and supporting that event. And yeah, we'll look forward to the next one, certainly. Right, I think that's everybody. If I've missed anybody off there, you've got permission to punch me on the nose next time you see me. Not literally, please don't. Right, so, were there any pickups? Well, there are some things to show in this video, I will give you that. I didn't get anything, like I said, I didn't buy anything at the event. But this is stuff that I've got here. I've got some gifts which were given to me. And I've also got some pickups from the week before, because the week before, I managed to drag Mrs. Bear to Vintage Game. Was it the week before or the day before? I can't remember. It might have been the day before. I managed to drag Mrs. Bear to Vintage Game. I don't manage to do that. I think we were just out and about. Yes, it was the day before. And we've been down to Hidden Chest. And usually by the time we come back from there, it's sort of getting on for about 3:30, and we want to get home and put our feet up again. And we left there. We were there quite early. We left quite early. I said, "Oh, let's call it a Nix on the way home." And you know, this is where the Mrs. Bear's enjoyment of going game hunting with me sort of stops, because she's not going to spend like Hidden Chest because she's there for another agenda, but she does like looking around. But with the game shop, it is like, you know, something like Nick's Vintage Gamer. It's just like games. It's game shop. It's a game shop. So she just tends to follow me around, and I'm sort of like, hold that, put that back, hold that, and that's what it is. And she said, I mean, she, didn't like the shop. It's just, she said, it's just more like a shop in there. It's just more like, here's a lot of games, and I don't know what I'm looking for. I said, well, just walk around and have a look. Oh, no. So anyway, so she did you think of carrying things, and luckily she didn't have to carry much that day. I think the last time I went in there, I sort of polled her about that high. When was he last going? Last summer, wasn't it? I think it was. Might have been last summer. And anyway, some of you may or may not be aware, I own a copy of this on the PlayStation 3, which is Beyond Two Souls. I'll give you an idea how long ago I played this. For last year, for PlayStation month, which I think was April, I was going to play this, one of the games I picked. I thought, I'll play this, I'll do it. And unfortunately, when I went to play it, I'm hoping you may or may not be able to see it there. You can just see at the top. Where are we? I had it there a second ago. There. There's a bit of rot on the old disc, so obviously it don't work. Which is a real shame, because I'm not a particularly good game or bad game, I don't know, but it don't work. So while we were in Vintage Gamer, I just sort of turned around and I thought, oh, there's a copy of it there, so I'll grab a copy of it. So to not surprise nobody, this is actually Beyond Two Souls on the PlayStation 3, but this is the Steelbook edition. It's got the slipcase with it as well, which is brilliant. There we go. So that was a nice one. Normally I wouldn't have bothered. I'd have left it where it was. And that's the Steelbook anyway. There's nothing on the back as such. But it's got all the, it's got the manual. It's also got, I think there's something else behind there as well, just to show you that. But yeah, so nice clean copy. Apparently it come in that very, very morning. So again, case of being in the right place at the right time. So I thought, well, I'll grab that while I'm here. It's better than the standard edition. I probably paid a bit more than the standard edition would have done. There's the back of it, just in case you want to look at it. But yeah, so picked that up, which was great. And it must have been my lucky day, because when I walked in there, Nick said, I've had some Commodore 64 stuff come in this morning. Right, okay. And obviously, knowing Nick as I do, he won't tell you something like that unless he knows that, there's something in there that you're going to find and try and buy. I don't know. As I went through it, most of it I wasn't particularly interested, but there's one thing that caught my eye. And he knows, he said, there's some compilations in there as well. So I had a quick look through, and I found one that I hadn't got, and I've never seen it before, so it's really, really strange. So I got the first one of these for Christmas, I think it was. Mrs. Bear picked up for Christmas, and mine being my birthday, I can't quite remember. So this is Coin Op Hits 2, this is a US Gold compilation. So we got from there, we got Dynasty Wars, Ninja Spirit, which I own on the Amstrad, got Vigilante, which is the old Sega arcade. These are all most of these are Sega arcade games. Then you got the classic Ghouls and Ghosts, and then you got Hammer Fist, which I had a demo on the Amiga. Now what you can't maybe able to see there is someone's actually got written pen all over the front of the Hammer Fist thing, which I didn't see at the time. Did it come with a manual? I think it did. No, it didn't. No manual. No manual, all the tapes are in there anyway. No screenshots on the back, but just I've never seen that one before. I've seen most of the compilations now, but that one I haven't seen. So pen mark aside, great little find that. And I paid 15 quid for the pair of those, which I think it's fair. I don't think we really knew how much that was. So it's one of those where we're going in and Nick can't find it and I can't work out how much it's going to cost, so we agree on a price, which is great. So yeah, nice to find that one. Compilations are all good and well. There are lots that are very common. There are lots that are quite rare to find. That I've never seen a copy of before. So I didn't even know it existed. So that's a good one for me. So I'm very happy to have that. So those are the picks I've got on the Saturday. And then at the gaming market itself, a couple of people brought some stuff over for me, which was lovely. When people just say, oh, you know, I've got this and I thought of you, which is usually code for I've been cleaning out my loft and I found this pile of junk and I thought of you immediately. Now, you know, I'd never disrespect anybody like that. I love the fact that people see these things and think, oh, you know, Retro Bear will look after that, or that's something he'll be into and do that. And they just give it to you and say, oh no, I don't want, you know, I'm going to throw it away, or I was going to, you know, sell it, but it's just too much hassle to do it. So Steve at Cooper's World bought me this, which he was very honest about. It's in his trade pile for ages. There's no trade value to it, and nobody else wants it. So, but it's something I'm interested in. So he said, I brought it, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And I will enjoy it, Steve, which is great. It's right up my street. It's Madden 15 on the Xbox One. So, yeah, I mean, this is what I'm showing you there, an Xbox One disc and a pamphlet. But yeah, as most regular viewers know, I do like my NFL. I think I've got 18 or 19, I might have 19 or 20, I don't know, for the Xbox One, which I bought a few months ago and still haven't played yet. But yeah, no, thank you very much for that, Steve. I will look after that, thank you. Richard Sherman on the front as well. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, lovely, thank you very much for that. And then Retro Ed, we mentioned Retro Ed a bit up, the legend that is Retro Ed. He sent me a couple of things over the years. He sent me, I think, Roadrunner on the Spectrum, because it was one game I couldn't find, and then all of a sudden 3 copies turned up at once. He's got there first though, so that counted. And then I think he sent me Chase HQ on the Game Boy as well, not long after we did the Desert Island Games with him. And then so he bought the stuff up for Mrs. Bear, Game Gear stuff, and then he said, I found these, he said, I've got no use for them, and I thought you might get some enjoyment out of them. And I had a quick look through them there, and I did say, I said, well, you know, there's a couple in here I don't recognise that I've got. I said, there's something I think I have got. I said, what I'll do is I'll keep what I want, and I know a few people who collect Spectrum, and I said, you know, if that's okay with you, I'll move these on to somebody else who might want them. And he's absolutely fine. We said, Ed, these are brilliant. I've got 23 Spectrum games. They're all the little cases, no big jewel cases or boxes like that. 23 Spectrum games. Now, some of these you may have heard of, some of these you may not have heard of, some of these I haven't heard of. So it's really weird. I'll just try and whiz through these quickly. So yeah, stop me if you want to get off. So this is Footballer of the Year, which is the re-release on the Kicks label. Basic premise of this: you're a footballer, and the idea is to become Footballer of the Year. By playing as either a striker or a goalkeeper. I think that's what the options were. You're a 17-year-old apprentice in the 4th division, and yeah, it's like, I suppose it's like a footballer's monopoly, where you have the opportunity to buy goal cards, so you can take shots in the game depending on how many goal cards you have, depending on how many shots you have in the game, and you get to predetermine how many shots you decide to have. And then you can always take a chance by gambling as well. So it's if you've played it, you know what I mean. I used to love it. It's a great little game now. So I'm very happy to have that. This one I'm pretty sure I've probably got. I think most people have got a copy of this. People who don't even own Spectrums have got a copy of this. I'm not entirely sure, but this, I think I may have got it a few weeks back. But this is actually the original release, and this is Daley Thompson's Super Test. Daley Thompson, a former Olympic athlete, gold medals. 84 at the Olympics, I think it was. I'm not sure whether he won it in 88 or not, I don't know. But it's like you play track and field or hyper sports, it's that sort of thing, joystick waggling, thumping decathlon type game anyway. This one is an interesting one. Not my favourite game for this particular competition. This is, I think this is Virgin Games' Italia 90, which is based on around the Football World Cup. This is the re-release on the Tronics label, which is a Mastertronic one. There were a couple of World Cup games around that time. There was a World Cup built into Kick-Off 2. There was this one. There was also a US Gold had a game called Italy 90, which wasn't the greatest game, but I must be honest with you, I played more of that on the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. I think I've ever actually played this one. I don't think it was particularly well known. Those aren't actually the Spectrum screenshots on the back either. So, but yeah, that's a football game. I'm happy to have that one. What have we got here? This one's quite a common one as well. This is again a Mastertronic label. This is Speed King 2, which is a motorcycle game, I believe. Again, I don't think I've actually ever played it. There are some screenshots in it. Just show this very quick. I mean, like I said, it's a fairly common game. A lot of people will know what this is. A lot of people won't. A lot of people won't actually. A lot of people have turned off by now, I expect. But there we go. So that's another one there. What have we got here? This is on. Now this one. I don't think I've got this one. This is actually it's a Codemasters game. It's actually a shoot 'em up. They didn't do very many shoot 'em ups at all. And this is Transmuter, which I watched a video on Vision a few weeks ago. And it's a very, very slow shooter. It really is. It's not great. Although it does say, that doesn't actually say it's a good game or not at the back. Usually we get the traditional Codemasters blurb saying absolutely brilliant or fantastic game. But no, not one that particular one. But I don't think I've got that, so that's nice. We've got a cover tape. Cover tapes are quite common to find. You can probably buy an entire run of cover tapes off the internet, off eBay for about 15 quid. So, complete games on here. There's a Seymour game on here, which I'm not sure what that one is. There's an Aliens, based on the film. There's something called Mind Out. I'm not sure what that is. There's a Lemmings demo. Wow. Now I'm interested. Lemmings demo. And yeah, not a lot else on that one, but they're always good to have those. You find the odd demo, tech demos, or full games on them. They're worth picking up if you can do. This one's a really old release. This is from the Micro Mega label. Never even heard of it. Looks like it's probably it actually looks like it's Pac-Man clone. It's Haunted Hedges. You can see there looks to be sort of like ghosts going around the maze. If you can make out that from the what's the word? The focus. That's it. Yeah, for the 16 or the 48K Spectrum, yeah, Haunted Hedges, but that's a Pac-Man clone. So that's good. Pac-Man clones tend to be terrible. This game was around so much when I was a kid. Advanced Ski Simulator, which is not a simulator at all. Simultaneous two-player action. Budget games, most of these. So there we go. Nice to have that one. Again, another really common game. I'm not sure this is probably not the right case. I think the case of this is red. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is Formula 1 Simulator from Mastertronic, which is a basic. Again, similar to the motorcycle game I showed you not far away, not long ago. Not far away, not long ago. No, that's not far away. There we go. Very, very common game. Most people would probably have about 45 copies. Again, if you buy a bundle or something like that, the chances are you're likely to get that one in there. A Firebird game. This is looks like it's an Oriental ninja type thing. This is Kai Temple. No actual screenshots there. No screenshots on this one. But I think I've actually got a loose tape of this. That name is ringing a bell, so that might be an upgrade on that one. This one's definitely a ninja-based game. It's called Ninja on the Entertainment USA label. Again, I think this is my friend of mine had this on a Commodore 64. It's not a bad little game actually. It's like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It's not bad. Ninja Blaster black belt of all martial arts games. Yeah, it's all right. It's what it is. What they were back in the day, cheap and cheerful budget games. This one, I mean, cripes, this is seriously old. So this has got Witch Fiend and something that I can't work out. Odd Job Eddie. So there's the front of it. I think it's even side on. Sorry about the glare. I've got it down here. So Witch Fiend and Odd Job Eddie. Odd Job Eddie sounds to me like it might be a Manic Miner clone. I don't know, but anyway, I've never even heard of either of those two games, which is great. It's why I love these things, because you know you're just finding out new games all the time. Another cover tape. This one's got three complete games on. So we've got Rebel, and we've got Feud, and then we've got Tau Ceti. Tauceti. We had this long pronunciation problem. Is it Tau Ceti? I don't know. No idea. And there's a playable demo of Ivan Ironman's Stewart's Off-Road Racing as well. So cover tape. I don't think I've got that one. Ed did mention this game was in there. He said, yeah, this game's in there as well. So, fantastic. I said, because I haven't got that. And this is the 128K version as well. Wow. I think this game's broken anyway. I think there's a bug in it or something, which means you can't win or something. Anyway, it's Ian Botham's test match, or Lord Botham's test match, as it should be called now. Anyway, there's no any screenshots in this one. No, there isn't. It's not a particularly good cricket game. I've got to play a few of the early cricket games. It's not one of the better ones. There's not one but two copies of Ghostbusters. Sadly, this is the re-release, not the clamshell. But I mean, yeah, this game is like common as anything. If you buy a bundle of games, tapes, any system, you can guarantee there's going to be a copy of Ghostbusters in it, and guarantee it's going to be this one. I hate the game. Hate Ghostbusters, the game. So if anybody wants a copy of Ghostbusters, you're very welcome to that one. This is Pool, quite simply. So a game of pool. No screenshots on the back of that one. Did I show you the back of Ghostbusters? Do you really want to see the back of that one? Yeah, it's not great. Not a great game. I don't like it. Some people do, but I don't. This one, I don't think I've ever seen this one before. This is on the Mastertronic again. This is Star Farce. You must destroy all fighting craft on Earth and obliterate every last Earthling in a desperate attempt to save the universe. So why am I blasting everything to save the universe? Looks like it might be a vertical shooter. That might be quite fun. Never heard of that one. Again, one of the common games that you come across everywhere. But also actually not a bad game. This is at 180 darts on the Mad label, which is also Mastertronic. One of the earliest darts games, and probably one of the very best, has to be said. Again, every bundle you see on eBay's got that in there. I've got this on the Commodore 64. This is Kickstart 2 with the course designer. So it's a side-on dirt bike racing game. Very sold bucket loads back in the day. Bucket loads. This is Vidi Classics. This is on the Silverbird label. I have no idea what's on this, because it doesn't tell you, and you can't see anyway. So 4 random games on the back of that one. 2 to show you here. One of the absolute classics. Again, one of my favourite games from years gone by. Leaderboard Golf, which was, I think, not so good on the Spectrum, a few people have told me since. But very, very good on the Commodore 64. Very good on the Master System. World-class leaderboard, definitely worthwhile. And then finally, Frankenstein Junior, which is on the Crime Time label. I'm thinking of wrestling. The Cartoon Time label, which I think was also a spin-off of Codemasters, and a platform game which I've never played before. Well, there we go. So thank you very much to Ed for all those games. Like I said, I'll go through mine, see what I've got. I'll keep what I need, and I will obviously try and move on the stuff that I don't, and it's really appreciated. Fantastic. I didn't expect to get that. What a fantastic gift from Ed. What a really wonderful guy Retro Ed is. He really is. What an absolute salt of the earth person. He really is. So that's it, and that's it. So that's what I got gifted. That's a couple of pictures from the day before, and also my conversation about that wonderful Sunday at the end of February that we spent freezing our nuts off in the Arena Archery Centre. But what a great day out it really was. I think everybody had such a fantastic time, and hopefully we'll get another one in before the end of the year. I'll try and stick a link to everybody's channel below. I've mentioned, if I miss anybody out, I'm really sorry. I am getting on a bit, and I'm going to start taking a pen and paper to these events and write people's names down.
If you have enjoyed that, loads of the content on the channel, please go and have a look through. If you're new here for the first time, hope you enjoyed that. Plenty of stuff like this on here. If you'd like to drop a subscription, feel free to do so. There's no obligation, no offence taken if you don't. You can do the old thumbs up thing if you like. That does help the video get noticed a bit more. Leave a comment. You know, I've been slacking a little bit in the comments in the last few weeks or so, but I'm trying to get back on top of that as well. Always nice to hear from people. Let me know what you think. Have you played any of those? Have you got any experience with those? Has anybody ever seen that Coin Ops collection before? Please let me know. I'd love to know that. And generally speaking, yeah, take care of yourself. It's great to have you here, and hope to see you back very, very soon. But until then, do take care. Bye for now.